Okay, now I'm going to install the lower Strat button. So this is at the bottom of the guitar. You can see there that the place where the two pieces of wood meet, this is a two-piece altered body. You can see that part there, sort of a crack, if you will, where they meet. That's probably not the best thing to have. If you were doing, like I said, a newer guitar or something, you would want to have evened out that piece of wood before you even started putting any kind of sanding sealer on it or whatnot. I don't know exactly how you would do that with this in this example, if it would be wood filler or if you would do the method where you like use a soldering iron with a damp cloth and sort of like pull the wood back out or just sand it down. I don't know. Feel free to comment if you have any ideas. I don't really mind it at all. You don't really see it at all. You really have to look for it, and who's looking at the bottom of the guitar anyway. But it actually gives me a great reference point as to the middle of the guitar and where the Strat button should go. So as far as the height vertically, I'll show you what I'm going to do. It's similar to the guy I referenced with respect to the input jack. I forget his username now, but he's got the 35 videos on putting together a Strat, and this is his method. I'm sure there are more accurate ways to sort of measure this, but I just wanted to verify that that indentation there where the two pieces of wood meet is in the middle of the guitar. So I've got just a level here, as you can see, and I lined it up, not exactly, but you know, just best guess, to the middle of the bridge there. And yeah, you can see that it does line up with that indentation there. So, you know, this isn't rocket science. So I just wanted to verify that, you know, it's somewhat close to the middle, and it is. So as far as that reference point, I'm just going to go with that. All right, hopefully you can see somewhat what I'm doing. I've just got the guitar body resting on a flat surface, and I've got my level up here so that it's flat with the top surface of the guitar. And so I've got two flat reference points just kind of sandwiched in the body. And then I'm just taking my measuring tape, and this isn't, you know, the best way, the most accurate, because you got a little bit of play in that little end piece. I don't know what you call it, but if I had like a metal ruler, that would be more accurate. But it's a pretty good indication of the distances, and I can kind of guesstimate the halfway point. So it's about 2 11/64 is the distance, so I'll find out whatever the heck half of that is, and then that'll be my spot. I've got a piece of tape up there. I just lined it up with that line that I was telling you about so that I can mark it where the exact point is. So I think I said 2 11/64, which is totally wrong. It was, first of all, it was a 1, and it was 11/16. So I don't know what I was thinking about. But yeah, my tape measure isn't divided up into that small of increments. I measured, and the measurement of that distance divided by 2 was like 27/30 seconds, which is more or less 7/8. So that's where I put it, right there, 7/8. It's kind of weird because of the chunks missing, you know, the black. So it's a little bit hard to visualize. But yeah, I think that's pretty much where the center is. So I'm gonna put my hole there. I just use a really sharp nail to make my mark for this hole, and then I'm taking my drill bit and just going in and kind of scoring it like so, going the opposite way to just make it smooth, and then just going in by hand like that. So I'll drill the hole. I've got my tape marking the distance. I'm pretty sure this is the right size drill bit. I did test it on a scrap piece of wood. It seems to be okay. But this screw has this sort of odd, there you go, this odd piece at the top that's bigger than the main part of the screw. So we'll see how that goes. I guess that's just to make it tight in there in the body once it goes in. I'm not exactly sure, but definitely going to countersink this one. Okay, hole is drilled. The countersinking commence. All right, hopefully that's good. So yeah, I'm an idiot. This piece here at the top, the thicker piece, actually just goes in this sort of Strat button housing. Anyway, that's how it goes. So I think this one should be good. Just gonna kind of test it, see how it goes in. Actually, I probably should be using some wax, so let me do that. All right, I got my wiggity wax in there. Sorry. That's a crisscross reference, if you're old enough to remember that.
Cause inside out is wiggity 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 wax.
Wiggity wax. That seems to be going in pretty good. I don't have the Strat button on. I just want to kind of test it out, give it a trial. Insert there, just make sure it goes on good. So yeah, we should be good to go. I do have the little felt pads for this. I know it's a relic and it's supposed to be old, but I just kind of like these. I don't know why you need the extra assurance when the body's all beat up like it is, but I actually found these at local guitar store. I mean like mom and pop, hole in the wall music store. But I got them I got two for like 20 cents. I mean, he just had some and he's like, I don't know, 20 cents or 25 cents. So that worked out great. You know, if you get these from Stuart McDonald, you have to buy a lot. You have to buy a package of them, and I don't know, it's like $3 or $4 or $5, maybe more than that. And it's like, why? I mean, if you're a luthier, I can understand it, but if you're like a project kind of person doing this, you know, here and there, you don't need that many. And I mean, they sell these Strat buttons together, the screw and the Strat button. It's like, why can't you just include a felt little pad with it? That doesn't make sense to me. Like, even throw in a white one and a black one, you know, I don't think they lose money that way, but come on, Stu Mac. This Strat button, I think I'm gonna end up just kind of eyeballing it more than anything, but put a piece of tape here, and I got this idea from this same guy that I keep referencing, who has the 30 some odd videos about putting the Strat together. I'll try to include again his username, but I've read a few things about this. I think, you know, the idea is to, for me anyway, is to imagine this kind of point continuing on where it would kind of meet up, and that's kind of where I think the angle of the Strat button should go. I've seen them different places, but a lot of them are actually over kind of fairly far this way. And the other thing is, I've got my level here again, is to just kind of like, I've heard some people say that you should aim for the center of the nut. So kind of hard to get it all in the picture, but so something, you know, like that. I'm gonna draw my line ish like that, you know, but more than anything, I think I'm just gonna end up eyeballing it. You know, with the one on the bottom here, I measured it out and everything, and in the end, it's not bad, but I think it's actually a little bit further toward the top of the body than it is the bottom. And, you know, really, who cares? Nobody's gonna notice. But I think if I just ended up eyeballing it and going with my gut, it would have been closer to the middle. So with this one up here, I'm gonna try my luck with eyeballing it. Well, I said I was gonna eyeball this, and I did, and I ended up not liking it. So pretty much the worst thing ever, but it's not so bad. What I did was I plugged it up. Well, first I'll show a picture of what it ended up looking like. It was just a little bit too off to like the left hand, like pointing off to the left hand side of the headstock, which in the end just looked a little bit, well, it looked way too different than the normal Strats for me. What I should have done before I got antsy and did it is really compared as many Strat pictures as possible. And then when I did that after the fact, because when I started looking at it, it just looked a little off, I noticed that they were all pretty much in the exact same spot. And it's what I alluded to earlier, is that when you put the neck on, well, I obviously don't have it on, but the Strat button should pretty much point to the center of the nut. And I didn't do that. So now I'm going to fix it, and I'll show you how that goes. I've got the tape on, and last time I just put a strip right here, kind of this angled this way, but it's a little bit, it's kind of skews the orientation, you know, it kind of plays mind tricks on you with the angles. So I just went in and like taped, I didn't tape all the way around, but on the top part here, I just taped the whole horn so that I could kind of just get a really good picture. And then I got my, you know, if you have a straight edge, it'd be better because this is pretty thick, but I just lined it up with the center of the nut there as best I could and got my line going and just drew a line there. And so now I think I'm going to go in, well, let me show you this So here's my Strat button, and God, I'm really sorry. My thumb looks horrible from biting my fingernails and having vintage tint all over them. But you can see the line there that I've drawn, and the spot where the old hole was. And I don't know if I said it, but I did a toothpick with some wood glue and just let it sit at least 24 hours so that it gets good and hard and dried out. But you can see that thankfully the Strat button, if I line it up, is still going to cover up that hole like so. And I'm going to have that felt washer on there anyway, so it'll be even more hidden. And in the end, I just wasn't going to be happy if I didn't have it in the right orientation, because it would, I don't know, I'm just one of those kind of people that it bothers me. It would just eat away at me. So hopefully I can get this drilled in correctly, because it is so close to this pre-existing hole. I'm going to just be as careful as I can. So this is where my hole needs to be, right on the edge of that pre-existing hole. So hopefully this wood glue is good and strong and holds its grip. You know, the first time around I did get it centered on the horn in the other direction, the other plane. I was satisfied with that. So, and keeping in line, I'm going to stay in that general spot, but that's where I got to be, right there. Okay, I did it. I was actually successful. It worked. I'm happy with it. You can see there that if I line up my little straight edge, that pretty much dead on. Sorry for the shadows, but pretty much dead on with the center of the nut. And let me show you the top of it. It's centered. Let me do that. Yeah, centered on there that way. So I'm very glad I did it. Couldn't be happier with the results, and I'm really glad it worked out. It's one of the few things that's, well, it didn't go off of that without a hitch, because obviously I had to redo it. But I think the look of it now looks more accurate, so I'm happy with that. Oh, and you can't see the old mark, the old hole there at all. So no one will be any more the wise. I will never know that I screwed it up the first time.